Hello and welcome back to Railway Empire 2. Today we start off staring at Topeka, and we have a fork. We're not in the station, so we're a little bit far away. We can play it though, and we can't really do much that's urgent. We have our train loading with weapons, but that's going to take a while. And we're going to head over to Denver. Let's just check on the weapon situation. We have delivered 16. How many have you got on board? You have 4 guns, or loads of guns, I guess, on board. Our factory makes one load of guns, batch of guns per week. So that'll give us about 20 weeks left, as we're at the halfway point on what we've made so far. Yeah, still at... Oh, there we go, 5. So 19 weeks. 19 weeks and that will be complete. So it's going to be about Denver. We can get clothing over to Denver from Kansas, I believe. Kansas City does indeed make clothing, and they have not much being shifted by the looks of things. It would explain why they've stalled. They're probably not getting much in the way of goodies either. Yeah, especially down here. They should start to get, as we bring it up, they're getting their vegetables. 2 are on the way via Topeka, which is one of the reasons we need to improve that. But yeah, there's enough in store. We only need 4 items of clothing for Denver. It's probably better to just take a train with 4 on from, because we can get there, can't we? Yeah, from Kansas City to Denver when the time comes, and instead concentrate on what Denver needs. Cloth is in short supply, isn't it? It's only Kansas City for our entire network. I'm going to pause it there quickly, and I'm going to bring up the contour layer. If we do found Rock Springs, they should be able to make cloth and make it fairly decent. It'll be a level 1 facility. And it's a bit of a snug fit through here. If we go into build mode, we're right on the edge. But our bank balance, talking of our bank balance, should we pay this off? And then we're not just sitting here paying 6.2% interest on 1.2 million nearly. How much is that going to cost us? 1.3 million. Right, our money's gone down a lot. But our income should have gone up a little bit, as we're no longer paying for that. In fact, we're nearly making 300,000 coins a week now. That's an improvement. It was a bit of a slow start for this one, but it's picking up. Heading towards 500,000 once we've got our network a little bigger. So Rock Springs, yes, we could maybe squeeze by here. We could pay 100,000, of course, and use the station just as through tracks, and then we'll peel off the main line into the single platform there. So we'll come back to that. Definitely. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll set up Rock Springs, but before we do that, we need to sort out Topeka as promised, and we can also continue this quad track all the way to Topeka then, and separate our freight a little bit. Oh, that rhymes, doesn't it? Separate our freight. That will give us the option to change how this triangle works as well. It shouldn't cost us too much to build, as our money plummets. But yeah, it's mainly paying for those extra platforms. Oh, we can also shift where the log's coming as well. They can go into that platform. For this section, we might as well do something here and maybe send it into... Yeah, we could possibly send this into a 4-track and scoot this round a little more. Since currently it's just taking some vegetables, we could also bring in some fruit, I guess, as well, and send it direct there. Lots of plans. Right, let's get rid of that section. And we'll do the same here as well. Looking forward to today, guys. I have a lot planned. How much we managed to get in, unsure. That supply tower is a little close to that junction, isn't it? Yeah, we might need to remove that, although do we have a block? We do have a block that side, but not heading into it. So yeah, I'd like to remove that at the risk of resetting trains. Fortunately, it didn't. What we can do is plop it down again once we know where this is coming in. Just keeping it at max. There we go, stick you in there. And then we'll make our triangle again. But this time, we'll use the other track. I don't think we can get this to max, but 60 miles an hour for a freight train is absolutely fine, isn't it? We don't get anywhere near that. Right, let's redo our signalling for our triangle. We've now got the option to separate some services here. And that's going to be good for Topeka and for Wichita. And it should keep our faster trains, especially our through train, away from our freight lines. So we're operating a little bit like real life there, aren't we? I mean, this train's on the way back to our logging there, so we can happily reset that and redo the track without having to wait for it to clear. It's probably a little bit cheaty. In fact, if we draw this out, given what we've got going on here, we can separate that a little as well. Maybe get Kansas with a couple of extra platforms. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, you know. We can do something similar with this line. Yes, I do like that, in fact. Depends if we can afford it, because we did pay off our bond. That was worth it, though, wasn't it? That we absolutely had to do that. Right, you're connecting there. Are we going to be able to afford this? I hope so. Oh, it's a little bit pricey. We might just have enough to do it. Right, let's get a 4-track gridiron up this end. I'm putting a 4-track gridiron in as we've got train entering in the other end as well. So we've got lots of options to switch platforms if we need to. And we'll do the same here because we have trains terminating at both sides. Or from both sides. Now then, do we have the angle here to stay pretty fast? Not really. We'll take it back further. And we'll try and get a better curve on that. There we go. Not too much out of our way, and it does mean we don't have to slow down. We could, of course, gone a little slower, but that's nice and smooth. Get you signalled up. Again, we can separate some of our trains here. We may have to do something similar here. Let's take that back a little more so we've got a bit more to play with in the way of curving into the station. We could, of course, go around the back, but our funds are getting a little bit low. So we'll try it this way first, see if we've got the funds. And we need to... What sort of speed do they do? I guess 60 will be absolutely fine, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't think they're anywhere near that. Mid-40s? Oh, what's up with you? Yeah, sometimes it does this, and I never know why. We could try adding waypoints in there, I guess. Let's try cutting this back here, and we'll try drawing it. We'll draw it past where it was showing red and then slide in. There we go, we fixed it. We fixed it. I have no idea where it does that, but yeah, we've managed to get rid of it. There we go, guys. We've managed to not only increase the throughput or capacity in Topeka, but now Kansas City as well, which is going to be handy. We don't technically need this track because we're coming in from these two, but I don't mind it being there. Perhaps we can find a use for it later, and we're not really that short on money. But what we need to do now is start separating some of our services. Nothing should have been affected. Oh yes, we need to figure out what we're doing here. What do you got on board? Are you coming in with some... Yeah, I would prefer you to come in with your vegetables, so we'll do that first. Our trains should sort themselves out. You got lots of options now. This won't, oh, well, it will be used. Perhaps we should, oh no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Once he's empty, we'll then change this, this entrance into, what would this be? Western Topeka. Yeah. West Junction at Topeka. Are you done? Are you going to give us the money? Our money has been deposited, I guess. Right, now we can get rid of this. Or not get rid of it, but we can redo this section. And we can head back in, but maybe with a 4-track gridiron to give them plenty to choose from once they get in there. Oh, it's a little bit rough, isn't it? I don't know whether we're going to actually get in here nicely. Oh, 52. Oops. 52 isn't too bad, actually. I'm a little bit impressed with that. There we go. 60. I think 60 for freight is all we need. That's marvellous, isn't it? It also gives us a better run off this way. Although this would be potentially freight, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because that would be a freight line. And it kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. We might be better off going that way with it. What about a direct line to North Platte from Topeka? Yeah, and if we came in here, it would give us the option to scoot across to Denver as well, wouldn't it? Since we've got this line already here, we could branch off early. This isn't what I had planned, but I'm loving it. It's a brilliant idea, me. Our existing express might actually use that. Because we do have one, don't we? Topeka to Denver. So this would cut out the fact it goes either this way or that way. And lighten up the load a little bit. In fact, it goes through Wichita at the moment, doesn't it? So that would take a train, a through train, away from Wichita, which I wouldn't complain about at all. And we've got a big long stretch here that they could fill up. Right, that's going to be a little bit expensive. And it wasn't part of my planning today. It's okay to be a little spontaneous now and again, isn't it? Right, let's finish off our signalling now for our freight line, which is, I guess, now semi-shared with our express. But the freight line should calm down a touch. Well, let's get some supply towers in. We can only afford 2. I'm going to get one there and there. I believe I saw... Yeah, we got some issues up this end. Which one are you? You are the Cheyenne 2 to North Platte. Ah, yes, our new trains. But as we know and have learned currently, they have little to no effect on our train. It doesn't make the largest difference running without without supplies, oddly. It's also, our money is going up ridiculously fast, so we might as well give them some supply towers on this triangle, and we can separate them, can't we? There we go. And we're going to do that because I don't like seeing the triangles, so that's the only reason. Everything else should be good. Yes, we're good. There we go. One has disappeared. Let's finish off down, not Wichita, although Wichita, you should see 2 less trains, our express train, Wichita to Topeka, right? Oh no, that's not the one. Interesting choice of route here. I do want to change these, don't I? So I guess since I clicked on it by mistake. So after Wichita, we're looking towards Topeka now. We would like you to head on that track. Shift you up. Beautiful. And just to make sure, you're going to head back that way. Confirm that. 2 trains now on the inside. Our freight should both be on here. On the, on that track. If we hover over it, you can see that one's now using its dedicated track. And the same for this one. Beautiful. We've separated our lines a little bit. How many trains do we now running? So yes, our Topeka to Denver must already be using it, and there he goes. It's marvelous. I love it. We've now got a completely different route to Denver. And it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Straight there. Yeah, it looks a little more complicated down here, especially with this shenanigans going on. But I'm hoping our trains just keep moving. Our freight train could indeed head off before this junction. And then we don't get in the way with the express train. It'd still share this line, but yeah, we could head off sooner. We do have this second track, of course. Look how quickly our money's going up. 250,000, $250,000 per week. Should we have a look at our stats just briefly? What's our company worth now? Company value is nearly 50 million. I like the charts to get a rough idea of how we're doing. This is over what, 12 months? Goodness me. 6 years, there we go. A nice rocket. That's where we started. We took over the company there, did we? Maybe? And then it just, well, it would have been here, wouldn't it? Surely. I don't know. We're just flying after that point. There's the snowball effect, I guess. We can still take this 5.6 million out, and I'm going to leave it in our, as an option in our back pocket. We can't do anything with Walter just yet. That'll be probably what we use it for. Buying out Walter. Now, so we've got Topeka tidied up a little bit. Much quieter. I mean, it's not any quieter. It's probably busier. It just looks quieter. We've separated quite a bit now. I guess one thing to do would be shift this service over if you're not using the... Yeah, we should use this track, shouldn't we? Because we've got two connecting trains there. I mean, we do on both sides, but these are less frequent, the two freight services. So after Topeka, we are doing the right thing there, and then on the way back you want to go on that track, and then we'll separate you from those. Again, I don't think this really needs to be there. It's definitely looking like we can have a separate freight station situation going on, running from Wichita to Topeka and Kansas, because all of our freight is on this eastern side. So yeah, it could be its own little thing doing that. We will have to toy around though with that, and probably need quite a bit more spending money than we have. What are you? Oh, I didn't put that back in, did I? I'm sure some of you have noticed that and told me in the comments. I've got to record ahead, by the way. Yes, my wife is on vacation from work soon. Shall we see if we can get Rock Springs founded? I sort of like the idea of using this as through track. It's going to be a little rough, that's for sure, and it's going to be expensive if we wish to have more than... In fact, it's going to be awkward if we require more wood, which we will do, won't we? We'll need some heading that way. Well, let's see how much it'll cost us. It'll have to be double tracked all the way, as it's going to get quite busy quite quickly. If we just have that, like that, this will be the actual... Yeah, this will be the platforms for our two trains. Yes, maybe. We might actually be able to do something interesting here. We could use the same platform. I don't like it. It just depends how much this is going to cost us. We are building bridges and such, and platforms do cost us quite a bit of money. But we can branch in and out. If we just have this, not maximum. If we have this as the actual station, we might have to do something here. Yes, we will. Let's delete that little section there. This is going to be where we send our wood over to Rock... What? I can't remember the name of it. Rock Springs? Is that right? Oh, it's hidden the names. I want to say Rock Springs. It might not be. If we do something like that, we keep these separate, but then branch back in or branch back out before that bridge. Yeah, it's full speed. Why not? So we got a bypass running like this all the way through. I guess technically it would be better if this outside track was the bypass track. Just for how that would work in real life. You wouldn't really have the through train branch off, would you? Usually. Which means it would be the same on this side as well. It's not really cost as much to do this. Once you've got to this stage of the game where you're making ridiculous amounts of money each week, this is a good way to get around the AI, especially when we're running close to the border like that. We can't build in any of that. So if it's a tight fit and you've got to fit a station in, this isn't too bad. It's expensive. It'll cost you 100,000 for the 2 platforms, but you could do it with 1 platform as well. Now, this looks like a minefield over here. Yes, I think we can make it through. I would like them to at least make the cloth. The clothing isn't as urgent. As I said, we can make us a nice service that just takes the 4 clothing and nothing else. We can just go with that, can't we? As soon as they're big enough. How on earth do we want to get round here? I can't make head nor tail of this mess. It's just awful. Yeah, and we've got to get round that way as well. So, not really got much choice if we want to have this as a serious station at some point. I guess the best thing to do would be to draw it in here and then reduce the tunneling as much as possible, as well as probably avoid these hills. We could have like a fun little journey around all these hills. It's just rough, isn't it? Well, that isn't too bad. There we go. Yeah, we've got a bit of a tunnel. Oh, grand. Look at the grade. It's awful. That would need to come down horrendous amounts. How do we get round here without it being awful? You know it's going to be time for some wiggle jiggle, don't you? I need some wiggle jiggle music or something that won't get me a copyright strike. And I just play that with some random fast forwardiness. Some time lapsing. Of all the wiggle jiggling I've done in the history of Railway Empire and Railway Empire 2, that was probably the longest. I went up around that end, down here, and I've kind of gone for a scenic one. Let's just take off the contours there. It's not what it seems on the layer there. We're kind of hugging around here. These, they're tough to get through. Oh, no, don't touch that. Don't touch that. But yes, it's 164,000, which I almost just broke. In fact, build it. It's pleasant. Which way do we want to go in here? I'm going to make this a double platform straight off the bat because it's done then. It's a 95-mile route through some mountains by the looks of things. And we are going to run trains from here once we've got it founded. So it's going to be worth it. And I wouldn't mind at the end of today's episode taking a little ride on that. Although I've got no idea now how long this video is going to be due to that wiggle jiggle. Because that really did take a long time. Goodness me. I'm not bothered though. I'm happy about the outcome. It's okay. Yeah, there's some grades, but our trains can deal with it. And I would like to change the platform assignment over this end so that our freight... Is that the right way round? I'm confused now. Yeah, so that our freight pulls off this side. So we'll get rid of the gridirons there and there. And we'll have them on this track instead. There we go. Lovely. So now our freight will pull off the main line and our through tracks will be the ones closest to our... just pause that. Will be closest to our station building there. And we've got our setup, haven't we? Let's get us a... What do we need? We need a gridiron in here. Our direction of travel is done. We do have 2 points to spend. We'll go and take a look at that shortly. This should be... Oh, it's not. We need to finish this, don't we? That would have been terrible. It's going to be a lovely little scenic ride, though, isn't it? We might be able to go on the wood train or something. We're going to have to get all sorts delivered now. Into... Is it Rock Springs? Oh, it is Rock Springs. Is that what I said? I don't even know what I said now. It feels like an eternity ago because I was too busy doing this. I was in deep concentration. It would not have made the most entertaining video, that's for sure. Very, very quiet. Maybe a few sighs here and there as I messed it up. Okay, let's have a quick look at the research. There were a few things, weren't there? We had... Not that, though. I don't really get involved with the AI. We could annoy him, I guess. This one might not be bad. We're getting to the point where we might need to upgrade our locos across the board. Oh, that would have been nice. I would have saved a little bit on what I just built. Not overly important. It might be important given some of the terrain I've seen. Yeah, hindsight, I guess I could delete it and then rebuild it. Not happening. Ooh, well, that one's kind of nice. Yeah, reduce the maintenance requirements across the board. I do like it. Let's go for that. That's always a nice one, isn't it? Less downtime is beautiful. It means they'll spend a little less time in a station now as their maintenance requirements take a little longer to go down. And by that I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, the condition of the locomotive bar goes down slower. There we go, that's what that means. Dear oh dear. Right, yes, we've got a connection. Now what we need to do is figure out where we're getting stuff from. The wood is a nice easy one. Grain, do we have a route here? Can we get across there? I think this is separate, isn't it? No. It might not have to be, because we could make a 3-track gridiron over here. I know we can get across there as it stands, but we could give them a few options as well, couldn't we? By making this 3-track as well, which will be max. And then it's ready to be 4-tracked quite easily. There we go. Now there is all sorts of options, including getting from this, from Hill Station there. We could go that way now and get onto the correct track. Okay, so meat might be Cheyenne. Have you made enough meat yet? No, you haven't. So again, it's going to have to be Wichita. This is a bigger project than I expected. How are we doing on our tasks out of interest? We haven't delivered another 8 yet. Are we still waiting down here? No, I believe our other train has already left. Which one are you? You're on the way. Okay. So this is a big step forward. We've got another 8 on the way there. And how is Denver doing? If we can get Rock Springs founded, probably in the next episode, we can maybe get the meat underway. There's no way we're getting it from Denver. Not Denver. From Cheyenne in time, because that's going to take a little while to get its stores up and running. But we can take it from Wichita again, as they've got loads. Or we could take it from Omaha. I believe Omaha have some meat as well. We'll go and check. But yes, so our next one after our cloth, which hopefully we'll get Rock Springs making soon, would be our milk. And then we'll figure out where we're going to get milk from. I believe we've got it close. Yeah, we can get through there. Or we could divert up here. I do love my triangles when I'm reusing track. Omaha, how many? Oh, Omaha steaks. Plenty of Omaha steaks. Shall we get that set up? Oh, can we even get all the way over there from that direction? Well, yes, we can scoot up that way, can't we? And then come round. It's not pleasant or ideal, but then it's a one-way trip, isn't it? I guess we could repurpose the loco, is the way we look at this once we're there, to a permanent service, such as it could become I guess a freight service to the wall once we make that. It's lovely when you've got a network that just allows for this situation. Yeah, you're being diverted, but it reminds me of freight maneuvers on a real railway. And I thought that had cut off then, but that isn't the case. We are using our beautiful through track. If we had it the other way round, through trains would always want to go through these two platforms. The ones they're on now, which would then be our where our logging trains would be filling up. So there we go. We've got our train. It's going to be freight only. Oh, why did you close that? You didn't need to do that. And it's not going to take planks, but I just like to do it. Peace of mind. We'll get a Baldwin 10-wheeler on the way. There we go. Meat is on the way. Let's get us some wood on the way. Do we even have a lot of wood here? There's a question. We have 30. Look at that. So how much money do we have? We can send 2, can't we? I can't remember whether it's 2 or 3 we need with the wood. But freight only. And wait until 8, because I forgot to say it on the last one we set up. We'll get you done. And we'll have to hit play before we can duplicate it. Not fast forward. Well, fast forward didn't hurt because we needed the funds, didn't we? Although our trains are quite cheap now, aren't they? It's beautiful. There we go. 2. Is it 3 we need? It might be 3 that we need. Let's just take a quick look. Don't build an extension. Yes, it's 3. We can't afford another one, but we'll leave it paused because that's how we're going to end today's episode. We're going to take a nice ride on the scenic, I'm hoping it's scenic anyway, scenic route through all these hills and mountains and stuff. It might look terrible and I'll regret everything. But so that's 2 of the wood trains, 2 of the 3 wood trains. We could always let one just come back if we can't afford it, but I think we will. Meat is underway. When we come back, it will just be our grain. We'll take that from Evans train station if it's got enough. If not, we'll check our other grain farms around the map. And then that will be Rock Springs ready to be set up to create our cloth and get Denver growing a little bit faster. Alright guys, we are being loaded up. There's our other logging train, the one that heads to Cheyenne. It does look nice, doesn't it? I've put us right on the nose of the train today because I want to see the scenery, as I spent so long on this track. Had fun today, a lot of widening of our network and quite a bit more capacity. There we go, we're off to Rock Springs. Quite a bit more capacity at our stations, 2 of them. We've now increased capacity of both Kansas City and Topeka, so we should see quite a bit more throughput in those 2 cities, and our network should start making us a bit more money as well. Looking forward to our little ride here. I do like our little tunnels. We paid for them, so we're going to enjoy them. Guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.